What's going on, guys? Coach Carter, Coffee with Coach here, wrapping up another great week at Woodmont High School. Today is Friday, April the 20th. Hope that you got big plans this weekend, but I also hope that you get your money's worth on Friday because Fridays are awesome. Always remember that. Today I want to talk to you about, we've had a really good week here. The numbers of people that we're reaching are increasing, and I had a lot of conversations with kids and parents once again, so we're going to keep this going. But today we're going to talk a little bit about a story that I heard when I was at Clemson University. I had the privilege of playing for Coach Jack Leggett, and he actually was an assistant coach at Clemson at the time. The head coach was legendary Coach Bill Wilhelm, and it was Coach Wilhelm's last year. And so he brought Coach Leggett from Western Carolina with the understanding that Coach Leggett would take his place when he retired the next year. But there was a story that Coach Leggett always told us. Now, and I talked to my friend Stanley Moss, who is down at Emerald, and I hear his team had started off scuffling a little bit, but now they've kind of got things going and looking forward to the playoffs. And had a good conversation with Coach Moss, and I told him that I would try to find something today that also he could share with his team. And so I thought this story would be fitting. As the story goes, Coach Leggett was playing up in the Cape Cod League, and he had a guy on his team from Holy Cross. And one of the first couple of games they played together, guy hits a ball. Coach Leggett said he got up his first at bat and he hits a ball. He gets a base hit. The second baseman dives for it, and it's just outside of the reach of his glove, and the ball goes into the outfield for a hit. And he said when he got around at first base and came back to the bag, he said he looked over in the dugout, and one of his teammates was going like this. He said he didn't really understand what that meant, so he just kind of played along with it. Said the next time when his friend came out to bat, he smokes the ball in the left center field. He thinks he's got maybe a for sure double, possible triple, and the outfielder runs it down, dives, makes the catch, and as he rounds second base and heads back into the dugout, the guy looks at Coach Leggett and he does like this. Coach Leggett still didn't have any idea what he was talking about. He was playing second base. The ball's hit right at him. It takes a bad hop, jumps up on him a little bit. He picks it up, throws the guy out. It's a bang-bang play at first. Looked at the first baseman, and he goes just like this. And so when they got back into the dugout, he said, "Hey, man, you got to what is this? What are we doing?" And the guy sat down beside him, and he said, "You know what? That's the diff." So what do you mean? He said, that small amount, that's the difference between winning and losing. That's the difference between being good and great. That's the diff. And, a lot of people quit and they don't realize how close they are to accomplishing their goal, and they quit and they close that chapter in their life. A lot of kids aren't willing to put in the work to be great at anything, whether that be great in the classroom, whether that be great in the weight room. You see, a lot of kids, they don't want to take the stairs. They want instant success. They want in the iPhone generation, it's everything is about me. They don't want to put in the work. They don't want to go to weights and conditioning in the summer. They don't want to go to 7-on-7s. When they go to practice, they just kind of go through the motions. But boy, when Friday night rolls around, they want to be in that uniform, run out of the tunnel, and go to let all their friends see them on the field. In baseball, nobody wants to do what's extra. We talked about the difference between ordinary and extraordinary, just a little extra. That's the diff. And so many kids, it's hard for them to understand they don't want to be great. If you were asked to write down your top 3 priorities, 1, 2, and 3, I hope that they would be faith, family, and then schoolwork. But 4 or 5, I hope, would be football, baseball, whatever your passion is, whatever your hobby is. But I always ask our guys here at Woodmont, I say, you know what? If you are arrested for being a weightlifter or a baseball player or a basketball player, and they followed you around and they presented, you had a trial, would there be enough evidence, if you've been accused of being a football player, would there be enough evidence to convict you for life with no possibility of parole, or would they simply just turn you loose? Because, if baseball, football, your academics, your faith, your family, if those things are the top 5, that should be reflected in your behavior, and that should be reflected in the choices you make. But you see, nobody really wants to do the work. And there's a difference. You can either be a great teammate, you can do more than what's expected, you can just try to do your best and take pride in your work every day. And the difference between being good and great, that's the diff. So I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. I hope you think about that. Do more than what's expected, because you are extraordinary. Love my Wildcats. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. And best of luck to my friend down there at Emerald. Go Vikings.